Here I am. Look at me. Fully ready to feel the complete, bizarre bonkers the MCU has in store. I like Doctor Strange, I like Scarlet Witch, I love Sam Raimi. Surely this is gonna be the movie of the year, right? So before I talk about the film, I think it's best to discuss about what I thought of the first Doctor Strange. I personally really enjoyed it. Like a lot of people say about the film, the visuals are honestly the biggest standout to an otherwise pretty standard Marvel movie. I mean, the film was just reeking with such mind-bending insanity, it looked like how dreams were formed. Now with Doctor Strange 2 on the other hand, I also really like it. As an avid Marvel fan myself, I was pretty damn excited to see this film. It embraces the strange in Doctor Strange in very creative ways. It felt like it was an amazing mix of superhero and horror. I mean, without a doubt, the best part of the movie is the directing. I mean, this movie is the Sam Raimiest movie to ever Sam Raimi. He is just a master at the craft of adapting these things. Everybody else is making a movie based on a comic IP, while Raimi is making a comic IP in the form of a movie. As much as I love No Way Home, you can tell in a lot of areas that the directing kind of felt a little too standard and uninspired, but with this film, it was like Marvel just gave him some bullet points to check off and then told him, do whatever you want, get all the crazy angles you like, get the weird camera tricks you enjoy, be as big and bombastic as you want to be. From a filmmaking perspective, I think this movie is a good introduction for general viewers to the style of Raimi. His visual style in this makes me so excited that the MCU is now really letting directors soar with all their unique and directorial talents. The visuals as well were absolutely breathtaking. The world building we got in this movie looked so otherworldly, and images that are so evocative, like technology has gotten so advanced that it's kind of horrifying. Benedict Cumberbatch as always is great and does such a good job as Doctor Strange. Benedict Wong was fun, Xochitl Gomez was cool, but I feel like the star of the whole show was Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch. She is fierce in this movie. To have cosmic power but all the people you love keep dying and an evil book that's gradually suffusing you, yeah, that would eventually break someone. But I also really like her motive. She's sympathetic but incredibly selfish. You don't have to agree with this, but you also kind of understand it. It's the exact way we justified the actions of Thanos. And although we saw much of Wanda's descent into darkness in WandaVision, I was kind of surprised to see just how far she'd fallen. It was really good stuff. The issues I have with this movie are surprisingly enough, sometimes it's pro. There are some typical Marvel jokes that, if I'm being honest, can get a little too tedious. There's also times where I did feel like they could have pushed the envelope a lot more. It felt like a self-contained movie despite it literally being called the Multiverse of Madness. And like a lot of people have been saying, the madness is there, but the multiverse aspects were actually pretty tame, as if they're still easing us into it. They literally had an unlimited number of possibilities they could have had fun with and explored in this movie. I was looking forward to seeing many more different versions of characters we've already seen in the MCU and appearances by countless characters that we haven't seen in the MCU. It would have been nice to explore more dimensions rather than just going through them, because a lot of them seemed incredibly fascinating. And as fun and entertaining as this movie was, it could have been easily 10 to 20 minutes longer to flesh out more of the character moments and action sequences. I literally cheered when I saw the Illuminati on the big screen. I love the comic, it was so cool to see it, but what happened to them was literally what happened in the beginning of the Suicide Squad. If you know, you know. And all I'm gonna say about a specific fan casting in that team, and you know who I'm talking about, I just hope Marvel proves me wrong, because that would be a little too egregious. But if I'm being honest, I also feel kind of glad we got an MCU movie that managed to just have a self-sustained plot while cramming in creepy moments and fan service in a way that doesn't seem forced. So for this to be about two people who took different approaches to past mistakes and have 2 hours of that is pretty neat. But anyway, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is a crazy, kooky time. I'll give the movie this: when I was sitting in the theater, I was not bored at all. I was was thoroughly entertained by the entire movie and loved the camera work, the visuals, the music, the performance, the plot, generally the whole film. So I'm gonna give this film an 8 out of 10. Even though in my opinion it doesn't always stick the landing with scenes seeming a tad aimless, this film is very much how you would picture a Sam Raimi Doctor Strange movie in the best